On the grid, ready to go. Liam McGill in front of Stephen Gray, Kieran Preedy on row 2 alongside Colin Main, Ian Blackley and Lorne Murray on row 3. Brodie Orr alongside Russell Morgan, Jerry Hendry and Andrew Mackey are on row 5. Row 6 is going to be Ryan McGill and Stuart Murray. And just like that, without any further ado, let's go racing then. Fiesta STs here at Knockhill. Great start and away we go then. Down into the first corner then for these cars. And it's a fairly orderly start, but again the cold tyres catching some of these cars out then. Down at McIntyre's, that's a car going slowly on the inside there. And of course the Scottish Fiesta ST Championship supported by Reese Motorsport Insurance, Yokohama Tyres and Wheels Around. And out to the outside, that's going to be the 31 there. That's Brodie Orr hanging it out big time, as only Brodie Orr knows how to do. A cracking start here for the drivers here. We'll give you a little bit of an idea on championship standings in just a second, but still at the front then, it's the 62 of Liam McGill out front and in charge ahead of the triple 3 there. Ian Blackley is out there as well. Stephen Gray has been sent backwards, and that is going to be a little bit of contact. The 37, that's Russell Morgan trying to get involved with Lorne Murray as well. So Liam McGill, as we said, in the lead of the race. And well, there you go. Ian Blackley in third, Kieran Preedy up into fourth place, Lorne Murray in fifth, Russell Morgan in sixth, Colin Main in 7th, Brodie Orr down in 7th position, but you can see them all fighting it out as we see there, and that is going to be Lorne Murray side by side, and that's up the inside. That's a big move from the 31 of Brodie Orr. It's the Triple Eight Colin Main who's trying to make this happen on, but meanwhile this is meaning that the leaders of Liam McGill and Steve Gray can stretch off into the sunshine. Very warm welcome back to the commentary box for Andy Alston. And Andy, again, just like the C1s, we're seeing the two leaders off into the sunset, but then just a battle for everyone else.
Yes, absolutely. Our two championship protagonists, Liam McGill and Stephen Gray, both of them tied on points, of course, both on 205 points going into this one. And it's been a very interesting couple of laps here, I have to say, as well, Dave. We are just seeing that gap there at the front, as you say, but it looks like there's a little puff of smoke there just coming out of the hairpin. So one car just falling back ever so slightly there, hopefully just managing to keep it going there. But yeah, really frantic. And then we've got another car stopped, actually, a little bit of damage at the front of the car as well, Dave.
Yeah, that looks like that's the the suspension, the wishbone. There's a technical term we use for that. We're not going to broadcast that one on air, but that car is looking decidedly done. That's not going anywhere. That is going to require getting lifted from that. So I would imagine we're going to see certainly yellow flags out, safety car boards illuminated. That is an obvious choice for the race control to do there. The car stricken in a very dangerous place on the exit of the hairpin there. So safety car neutralises the race, gives us a chance to calm down, and also gives us a chance to talk about the points, because obviously we were explaining that we're into the final round, the first of two races today for the Scottish Fiesta ST Championship. You can see there just what a precarious place that car is stuck in just now. Stuart Gray, Liam McGill, all up at the top of the championship, 205 points, joint top right now, 133 points for Brodie Orr. So it really is a two-car battle right now. We can see here on the screen the points that are on offer or as they come into today. So really we have two cars that we are mainly focusing on today. Obviously we'll be looking at the entire race, but it carries on. Those two championship protagonists still together at the front, and for me, Stephen Gray, he's dropping off a little bit from Liam McGill, but this is going to throw it right back open, isn't it?
Yeah, very much so. You know, both drivers neck and neck in points. Both drivers have won, interestingly, 5 races each as well. So it really does throw an interesting dimension into the works here. But you know, Stephen Gray won the opener last time out, but then it was Liam McGill taking a massive race win in the finale to really set the stage for this final meeting of the season. And yeah, it's one where, you know, both of them have been fighting tooth and nail throughout the year. And well, Liam McGill, I think, will be quite happy here, and he'll be, of course, crucially, as we know, with this being the second safety car of the day, Dave, he controls the pace from the restart. So that's the interesting question here for me: is what is Liam McGill's approach going to be here? Does he want to back the field up right into the hairpin, let the safety car peel away, and then just try and catch everyone napping, or does he try and commit and does he go early? It is a real dilemma sometimes at the front, but Liam McGill will be looking to try and just edge away at the front when we do get the racing underway again. Yeah,
that's not the start to your race weekend that you want from Andrew Mackey, is it? To have your front left wheel completely collapsed here as the cars get brought in through the tri-oval to avoid that moment entirely, because obviously the flatbed is going to have to come round and come and collect these cars. That's why we've got the pause just now. This isn't something that a recovery vehicle in terms of the Discovery is going to be able to pull away from the scene, because if they try and pull away that car, that front left is just going to collapse even further and cause even more damage to that car.
Yeah, it certainly is. So this is again just about the field just slowing down, just trying to kind of let the marshals just get the time to get the machinery out there on track to clear the car. So it's just about just being patient here for the drivers. Just it's a bit of a moment to kind of just reflect and just consider their approach here to the restart and see how things unfold from there. So you know, it's been a fantastic championship so far. Of course, we've got once again the support of not only Reece Motorsport Insurance, but Yokohama tyres and wheels around as well. So great to have their support with us here in this championship, and we're just seeing the cars just trying to just weave here, keep the temperature back up in the compound of those tyres as best as they can. And David, it's a big contrast to this morning as well, where it was very damp offline. That's not the case now, and it does once more just alter the approach for the drivers here, because now they can throw that car up the inside with confidence, particularly going into the hairpin.
Yeah, for sure. Let's bring it up to speed on the championship then as well. This is the Fiesta ST race cars then. These are based on the Mark 6 ST150 that was made between 2003 and 2008, almost qualifying for a classic car, not quite yet. They're powered by the standard Ford 2-litre Duratec engine. They run on Yokohama treaded tyres, but they're also equipped with ABS brakes and 3-way adjustable dampers, which gives them a tiny little bit of customization in terms of car setup. There's also a class for the slightly lesser specification challenge cars. Now, that was brought in a couple of years ago to try and bring in a more budget version of the championship, and while there are a few drivers in that one, I think that's kind of also been hampered essentially with the Citroen C1s, because they kind of fit in that point of being the most budget friendly championship, and then with the Fiesta STs as well, it kind of ebbs and flows in terms of the popularity of the different championships.
Yeah, and you mentioned there, Dave, about the opportunity to just modify the setup of the car here, and that is an important part of motorsport. So if you are potentially graduating from the C1 Cup into the Fiestas, as we have seen a couple of drivers doing just that, you have got that opportunity to add that extra element to your approach here. You know, if you can maximise the full performance of the car just with a couple of tweaks to the setup, then it really does put you in a strong position. I think this is a fantastic championship, and we've been treated to some really strong racing throughout, as proven by just how tight it is at the top of the standings.
I was noticing Stephen Hay there operating the flatbed machine. I tell you what, he's somebody you want to take to the carnival, get him on one of those little crane games, is he? He's obviously got the hand-eye coordination for doing that, but that car is being loaded onto the flatbed. It'll be strapped down, and I can imagine then by the time scale of that, that'll take about a minute to do that. They'll get that car driven off. we might be racing at the end of this lap here, Andy, so fingers crossed we get going. And again, it's all about getting the heat, the warmth, and the concentration still kept on point on that as well.
Yeah, massively, Dave. You know, this is it. You know, races can be won and lost in safety car restarts. You know, if you get caught napping by the car in front, you find yourself in a world of trouble, and you're only going backwards, really. And we know just how quick these cars are as well, so you've got to really be alert. You've got to really just, you know, and when we're seeing this here a little bit at the front, they're just kind of backing off ever so slightly there. But yeah, it's going to be very interesting just to see what approach Liam McGill does opt to take for this one. Will he really just hold fire going into the hairpin, or will he commit early? Either way, Stephen Gray and the rest of the pack have got to really, you've got to really focus and try and move forward quickly.
Yeah, the car's making their way down through McIntyre's. Just checked in on YouTube chat. Great to see that the Kieran Preedy fan club has decided to grace us with their presence this afternoon. The need for Preed is apparently being felt. I've got to be honest, it's a bit chilly. I'm not quite feeling the need for Preed just yet. We'll give it a couple of laps and we'll see if that one develops. Of course, Kieran Preedy in 4th position right now. He could be making moves, but again, our eyes have to be on that championship battle. The safety car has pulled off then, the lights are off, and we get ready for the restart then. Liam McGill is going to be in charge of the pace here for the first of 2 races for the Fiesta ST. And what I do like about this is the fact that he has got that group bunched up. He has got them all together, and more importantly for the guys in the back, they're paying attention. They know that car is gone and is away, so it's up to Liam McGill when he decides to pull the trigger, and I get the feeling it's going to be very, very shortly. He gets round this corner. I thought he would have been going now, puts the foot down, and we are about to go racing. The green flag flies then. Great start, and look at that again. That's been a call out for Ian Blackley, but to a certain extent so for Stephen Gray as well, as we resume racing here at Knockhill. 8 laps left to go then with the Scottish Fiesta ST Championship. Up over the hill then, and it's down through. Oh, that's a huge moment there. Great save from Brodior. That young lad is just absolutely on it, pushing up the inside there, forcing the 888 there of Colin Main sideways. Going to be side by side through the chicane. This is going to end in tears, isn't it? Contact onto the back, and that's if that's what I think. Again, Andy, you'll be able to kind of back me up on what I thought I saw there. I think one of those cars should have left out there, and I think that might have been on Brodior there.
Yeah, you know, but Brody's looking to try and, you know, make places up here, you know, on the restart, and he's a very, very fast driver. So he's one where he, you know, if he feels that he's got the move done, he's going to absolutely try and do his best to make it stick. But Colin Main, they're just losing out. Colin Main, of course, a graduate from a Scottish C1 Cup. Good to see him out here in the Fiestas as well. But back at the front, we have still got a bit of a gap now beginning to develop between Liam McGill, Stephen Gray, and then Ian Blackley, as you mentioned, just caught out a little bit at the safety car restart, and that is reflected in that gap there that you're seeing on your timesheets at the moment. But Liam McGill, 0.4 of a second is the lead between him and Stephen Gray, but I suspect this is not done yet, Dave.
It certainly is. Joint top in the championship points, so this is why we're focusing on this one, but we keep an eye on everything else going on as well. Ian Blackley in 3rd, Kieran Preedy in 4th, Russell Morgan in 5th, and Brodior with that move moving up into 6th position. He's going to come under threat very, very shortly. In fact, no, he's not. He's all over onto the gravel there. A little bit of rallycross there from Brodior there, and that is going to send him backwards. In fact, also under pressure, there comes Lorne Murray onto Colin Main up the inside there. That's going to be a move for position. Colin Main's going to try and get the cut back on the inside. That was lovely. Really, really nice, intelligent driving there from Colin Main to get the cut back to let Lorne take that position, but no, he could get him on the switchback.
Yeah, definitely very, very clever driving there. Still side by side they go, but I suspect Colin Main's just got enough to retain the position. But look at that, Liam McGill's taken 0.2 of a second out of Stephen Gray on that last lap, and Ian Blackley, all the meanwhile in 3rd place, just dropping now back even further, 2.5 seconds, and coming under a lot of pressure here from the 21 car of Kieran Preedy, who is just going to stay close here through the chicane and going into Clark's. But I suspect Kieran Preedy is going to fancy his chances of getting an overall podium, of course leading the way in the challenge class. But yeah, I think he'll be very, very happy with how his race is going so far.
Well, never mind that. I suspect you've got the need for pride from the sounds of it on that one. But yeah, Kieran Preedy trying to make big moves here, catching up to the back of Ian Blackley. He's going to have to watch out though, because Russell Morgan's still in tow with this one as well. Russell Morgan tries to fire up the inside, but again, that camera angle very deceiving, makes it look like there was a move there when realistically he's just taking a slightly different line into the hairpin. But as it goes, 5 laps left to go. Liam McGill still in the lead of this race from Stephen Gray. Another 0.3 of a second taken out, so Liam McGill has the measure, is what we're seeing here at the lead of the race, at the front end of this race here. Ian Blackley in 3rd position, Kieran Preedy in 4th. And Kieran Preedy now, despite looking very, very promising and trying to take that 3rd position, is actually now getting sent back into the clutches of Russell Morgan and Brodie Orr. Brodie Orr trying to hold on to this, and the one thing I've noticed with Brodie Orr is he has an amazing opening 5 laps, sends it left, right and centre, and then for some reason the final 3-4 laps the power just seems to fall away from that car.
Yeah, it's one where sometimes the drivers know the strengths and weaknesses of their car, of course, but they have to try and utilise that as best as they can. So if they know their car maybe struggles a little bit with temperatures towards the end of the race, they've got to get the moves done early. And Brodie Orr will be frustrated because he's going into this one 3rd in the championship, of course. 23 points gap between him and Ian Blackley, who's currently 3rd at the moment. So Brodie Orr can see 3rd place in the championship potentially moving away from him here. So he has to really try and make the move on Russell Morgan to try and then just close the gap ever so slightly. But yeah, it's an interesting one how this championship unfolds. We do see a number of drivers just towards the end of the race find it a little bit challenging, and that's of course where races can be won and lost.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we're seeing here. 4 laps left to go then. Liam McGill out in front. That gap now well over a second between him and Stephen Gray. Still to be updated on the time towers there, but that will go back here as we're watching this incredible battle here with Ian Blackley, Kieran Preedy, Russell Morgan, Brodie Orr in there as well. You can see in the background Colin Main and Jerry Hendry, they're all still involved here, but it looks like fire up the inside. That was a late move there from the 37. Might have been a little bit of clip on the front left there for the 37 of Russell Morgan onto Kieran Preedy there, and I think there'll be a little bit of afters after that one. 0.9 of a second, nearly a second between your 2 race leaders with just 3 laps left to go, so it's looking very cool, calm and collected for those 2 up in front. But meanwhile behind, it could be anybody's game here, because Ian Blackley, Kieran Preedy and Russell Morgan, still nothing to choose between them.
So if you're Stephen Gray, 3 laps to go, what is your approach here, Dave? Because you're neck and neck in the championship. Liam McGill takes the win. It puts the pressure on a little bit. But does he decide to just, does he bide his time this lap and then really try and push the car? It's an interesting dilemma here we have, because they're neck and neck going into this one. They know they've got 1 race after this, but Liam McGill finds himself in a very strong position, and almost a full second between him and Stephen Gray. So interesting just to see how the final couple of laps unfold here. The pressure's taken off the pair of them by the scrapping that we're seeing here just behind them. Ian Blackley's dropped further behind to 5 seconds. There's the gap between the 2 race leaders, but at 37, just going very, very wide on exit there. And yeah, it's a really, really interesting race, this one, I would say. It's one where I think, yeah, I get the sense obviously that this one isn't done yet, but Liam McGill's just got a little bit of pace here over Stephen Gray so far.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what it is, and I think maybe Stephen Gray recognises that. He's doing everything he can right now to push as hard as he can. The last race is the last race. The last race, a different kettle of fish. We'll deal with that bridge. If it was me out there, I'd be settling for 2nd place because I mean, what can he do? He can't exactly throw it down and take a wild lunge. All he can do is just set himself up for the final race and give him the best chance that he possibly can. I'm going to cut that conversation short though, because I am watching this little fight going on right now between Ian Blackley, Kieran Preedy and Brodie Orr. Blackley trying to have a bit of a defence going on here over Kieran Preedy, but Brodie Orr is hungry. He wants to take this 3rd position, and my goodness me, is he actually in with a shout to do this?
Yeah, absolutely. Last lap of this race now, 9/10 of a second a gap at the front, but as you mentioned there, Ian Blackley coming under all sorts of pressure from Kieran Preedy. We could see an overtaking opportunity here. Blackley's just got a couple of tenths there by the looks of it going into McIntyre's, so Kieran Preedy's going to really have to do everything he can here to try and make a move as they go through the chicane for the last time of asking. Lots of bollards on the way there as well. So, a real bit of drifting there from Ian Blackley coming out the chicane. That brings Kieran Preedy and Brodie Orr here into contention as they go into Clarks for the last time, Dave.
Let's go then through Clarks then, and that looks like a little bit of a nibble onto Kieran Preedy from Brodie Orr. That's going to give a little bit of a bump here to Kieran Preedy. It's going to be a last minute dive, but it's all very close at the top as well as Gray closes up very slightly on Liam McGill. Liam McGill is going to take the race win ahead of Stephen Gray there, and out of the final corner it's all hell kicking off here because you can see Ian Blackley, you can also see Brodie Orr, but that's going to be a move to 147, and Jerry Hendry side by side with Russell Morgan. Jerry Hendry takes 6th position at the line from Russell Morgan, but it's still Ian Blackley in 3rd, Kieran Preedy in 4th, Brodie Orr in 5th, Jerry Hendry from absolutely nowhere taking that P6, and what a performance that was. Great race there from the Scottish ST Cup. A huge thank you as always to the championship partners that are involved making that happen, to Reese Motorsport Insurance, to Yokohama Tyres and to Wheels Around. But wow, there we go. That sets us up so nicely for this afternoon here, and Liam McGill scores first blood today, but it was very close right at the end there. Yeah,
it certainly was. That gap went down to 0.6 of a second towards the finish, so Liam McGill will be more than happy with that performance because crucially it gives him the momentum going into the last race. Stephen Gray knows he's got to really put the pressure on, but yeah, very interesting race between our two championship protagonists. I have to give a shout out there to Ian Blackley as well, because that was a very strong defensive drive, particularly in those last couple of laps there. Kieran Preedy putting him under all kinds of pressure, so really looking forward to the finale later this afternoon.
Yep, well there we go then. That is the Scottish Fiesta ST Championship. Andy Alston has left the building. He is off to go and have a chat with our top 3 from that, and also have a chat potentially to our ST Challenge leader. I believe that was Lorne Murray in the challenge. I'll double check for you on that one, but certainly it was Lorne Murray. It would have been, it would have been Kieran Preedy that took the challenge in that one. So great to see. A brilliant race all the way around, and very enjoyable stuff. And that is the last race that we've got this morning. After we have a word from the drivers, we are going to take our lunch break. And then when we come back, we'll be back with race 2 of the Scottish Mini Cooper Cup and the Mini Cooper R53s. They'll be on for race 2 of 3 today, and we do it all over again this afternoon. It's going to be another 7 races we've got coming up for you, and just like that, the morning schedule has flown by. We've done 5 races this morning, and already halfway through into our programme just now. But the cars are over into pit lane, and we are just waiting to have a chat with Andy Alston. And I'm having a look around. I can't see our talented cameraman Anthony anywhere. He is just getting himself set up. So let's throw things over then to Andy Alston over in pit lane.
Yes, Dave, great action there in the Fiestas, but it's this man here, Liam McGill, who takes the vital win in the opener, and he will be absolutely delighted with that. Liam joins us now. Liam, many congratulations. Just sum up your emotions after that one.
Oh yeah, it was difficult. Always a good race with Stephen, but in qualifying we had a wee bit of damage, self-inflicted, so we managed to get the car back together, but I never had ABS there, so I was kind of watching in my mirrors and I made a mistake at the hairpin, seen Stephen catching, but lucky the laps tumbled in quick enough.
And just tell us a little bit about your approach now going into that finale here, because it's obviously between you and Stephen for the championship. What's your mindset going to be like going into that one?
Well, I mean, I have to win it. The reason I have to win it is if we draw on points, then I think Stephen wins the championship because he was the first person to get a first. So I need to win it no matter what. So it'll just be a case of trying to get the best start we can, get this ABS problem fixed, and just try and maintain a gap if we can get one. But I think it's going to be a difficult race, and I think it's also going to rain as well potentially. So, but if we can get the ABS sorted, I'll be happy with the rain.
Liam, many congratulations, great drive out there. Liam McGill taking the win in the opener ahead of the 24th car of Stephen Gray, so it does set up a very interesting championship finale, has to be said. We'll grab a quick chat with Stephen Gray, who finished second in the opener, and let's see, there's Stephen here who joins us now. Stephen, very close race between you and Liam McGill, as we've seen all season, of course, but just talk us through your thoughts on that, because we did notice the gap did come down towards the last couple of laps.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, I imagine that was Liam just making sure he didn't make any mistakes before the end, you know. So, shame we lost a few laps in the middle there with the safety car. It would have been nice to kind of put a bit more pressure on him for longer, but he drove really well, hardly any mistakes at all. So, I think that's what I would have needed to be able to get past him today.
And again, we've seen in the safety car that Liam, he really just let the safety car move on and really back the field up going into that one as well. And it's all about just really trying to just keep yourself on your toes really and try and stay alert so that he doesn't get away in the restart.
Very, very much so. Yeah, it was always when's he going to go, when's he going to go, when's he going to go. So. Yeah, and he got himself a good getaway. I don't think I dropped too much time from him off the start, so I think it was sharp enough, but he didn't make any mistakes and he drove really well. So, yeah.
And going into the finale, of course, it's just an out-and-out shootout between you and Liam. So what's your approach going to be going into that?
Yeah, that's it. Close my eyes and go as fast as I can. That's all I can do now.
Well, we'll look forward to seeing how you get on, Stephen. Many congratulations.
Thank you. Cheers.
Stephen Gray there, taking second place in the opener here in the Fiestas. We'll grab a quick chat with Ian Blackley, who took the final step on the podium. Just congratulated there by Stephen Gray. And Ian, really great scrapping there between yourself and Kieran, and you take the final step of the podium, so you must be really pleased with that.
Absolutely delighted. Especially this is my first year racing, obviously. My number's 333, and that's me got 3 podiums in the challenge this year, so that's just absolutely ace. I'm loving that. But no, it was really good. I've never done a safety car before either, so I was just kind of a bit nervous with that. Try to keep heating the tyres, and then obviously once we got going again, it was just a case of keeping Kieran behind me. He was quick, he was chapping on, so yep, absolutely over the moon. Yep. Perfect.
It's one as well going into the final race of the season. You know, you just be looking to kind of just finish your season on a high really as well.
I'm 4th in the championship at the minute, so I really need Brodie Orr to have a mare the next one, and then if I'm standing here again, they'll be laughing, so I might be 3rd in the championship. But time will tell. But no, absolutely loved it, and obviously got my family here supporting me as well, which is great, and obviously had a few sponsors this year as well, which is amazing. So absolutely happy as well. Over the moon.